Hey everybody, welcome back to Christopher Farms. I'm Chris. It's a great day on the farm. It's Saturday and got really nothing scheduled except a lot of different work around here to get done. It's going to be a good sunny day, so I thought what a great day to bake some solar bread. So let me take you along and show you that. All right, so it's going to be a sunny day for some solar baking. I've got a Solarvar Sport. I don't remember now. I'll show it to you guys here in a little bit. I don't know if they're still available or not, but I've got one and it works. And I'm going to bake some bread. So I'm making my way down to the kitchen in the house to put that together. And I do cheat a little bit. I have a bread maker, but I don't want to spend money on the baking side of it if I can just use the sun. So let me get in here and put this stuff together, show you guys how that goes, and we will be right back. Hey everybody, welcome to the old Christopher Farms test kitchen, I guess you could say. Because whenever I do something here, I'm usually wondering if it's going to work or not. So I've got all of the components that I need for putting my bread together already laid out. I didn't figure you guys needed to see me doing measuring and stuff like that. So I prefer to use a simpler bread recipe. It has just basically 6 ingredients in it. You've got, starting with sort of the order that you put them in here, hot water, warm water for activating yeast, sugar, yeast, and then oil, flour, and salt. Now, this is, like I said, it's pretty basic. And if you have the yeast, if your yeast is in the packet style, and mine is not, none of this needs refrigerated. And you really don't need to refrigerate your yeast unless it's like really steamy hot outside or humid or something like that. So I refrigerate my bulk yeast just to be on the safe side. So to get this particular recipe started, and let me look up, I'll tell you where it's at. It's not allrecipes.com. It's called Best Bread Machine Bread. It's pretty easy, and you just get it started by adding your cup of warm water. Oh, one thing that's really important when you make bread in a bread machine, I don't know if you guys can see it down in there, is to make sure that the little spinner gadget thingy, little arm on there, is in there. If it's not in there and you put all your ingredients in there and you get it started, you're going to wonder why it's not doing anything, and that might be why. So I'll get started, put the water in here. 1 cup of warm water, about 110 degrees, pretty close. Doing my 2 tablespoons of white sugar. Get that in there. And then I am going to add my yeast. So on this particular recipe, you're going to take a break there and you're going to wait about 10 minutes. That allows the yeast to get foamy and dissolve in there and really get started on that. I've seen that waiting just that 10 minutes makes a much more fluffy, I don't know, whatever you call it, much more light, yeah, I think that's it, light loaf of bread. So I'm going to go do some adulting chores. I got some laundry I need to hang on the line, and I'll come back and we'll show you guys getting the rest of this started. So let's see if you guys can see down in here. It's sort of what it looks like here. Let me see here, I could adjust this camera angle, can't I? Oops, there you go. So there's what it looks like down in there right now. Just getting it started. I thought I'd come back and show you guys that. So okay, we'll let that sit for about 10 minutes and we'll come back to it. Alright y'all, we're back, and you probably see, hopefully, that got foamy, frothy, whatever. So now we're ready to keep going. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and put in the rest of our ingredients. Get the oil in there. Let that drain out for a second. Alright. And then the flour. This is probably not going to turn out too great because I needed to put this in a paper sack. Works pretty nice. Or just measuring it out directly, but that's okay. We'll get this in here. Try not to make too much of a mess. Spread it on there a little bit. And finally, hit the salt. Alright. So I'm going to put this into the bread machine. Get that wiped in there a little bit. So I'm going to put this in the bread machine. All right, so here's my bread machine. It's all plugged in, ready to go. I'll get this in here. And yeah, you guys can see down in there a little bit. I'll go ahead and close this for now, and I'm going to select the dough setting. It won't bake it, it'll just mix it all up, let the dough rise, and knock it down. I'll go ahead and hit start. So it's 1 hour and 20 minutes. So I'm going to take my phone and set my timer on there for about 1 hour and 15 minutes so I can make sure I got time to get back up in here. So I'll open this up. I don't know if you can hear it starting to work in there or not, but it's starting to slowly turn there. You can probably see it move now. Yep. So it's just doing that, slowly mixing it in, getting that yeast and water mixture with that sugar. The yeast will feed off the sugar, get mixed in there, and it'll mix it up, create a nice warm environment, and then the dough will rise in there once it gets going. So I'll let that get started, and I'll come back and show you guys it again once it forms into a better ball of dough. So we're about 3 minutes into it. You can see that dough ball forming pretty good there, and it's just going to do that, make sure it's all good and mixed up and kneaded and all that good stuff. And then, like I said, it'll sit there and let it rise, and it'll knock it down and stuff. So about 1 hour and 16 minutes left on it, and we'll be back. Alright guys, I got 36 minutes left on the timer, but I stopped in the house to get a drink of water, drop something off, and I can smell the bread already. So there, it's rising up, and it'll continue to do that for another half an hour or so, and then it'll knock it down, and then that's when I'll separate it, put it into my loaf pans, and then let it rise again. Alright, so 2 minutes left. You can see how much that rose in the pan. A little warm. I need to wash my hands. So yeah, I think I'll leave you guys on, and you'll see this get punched down. There it goes. Bye bye. Alright, so what's next? Alright, so I've got my cutting board here that I'm going to use as my surface, and I've got it flour over the top of it. The sun's a little weird here, but hopefully you'll be able to see it. So I'm just going to dump my dough ball out, and I like to immediately remove that so it doesn't get stuck. So put that over there to be cleaned later. So I've got 4 little pans, and I don't think I need 4. I think I just need 3. So I'm going to set this one back over here and get 3. So what I want to do is roughly get this even. Take a look at what I've got. Maybe about right there. If you've got a nice spatula, you can just cut down through this, but I do not. So there's that. A little smaller. Or you just pull it apart if you get fancy. But yeah, that's probably about right. So I'm going to set 2 of those to the side. I'm going to pull one of these out. Make it somewhat square. Get a knead right there. That. I'm just going to form this up so it somewhat resembles my pan, and I'm just going to transfer that into my loaf pan. And I might have should have divided that into 4, but we'll see. Like I said, it's the test kitchen. So get my flour back out here, start doing the same here. Turn that over. turn that over. Do a little something different with this one, I think. I'm going to do it like that, and like that. These are oiled already, so shouldn't have any problems there. So I've got myself a clean cloth. I'm just gonna put those over like that, and they'll be there for about 45 minutes. We'll come back, every, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, see how they're doing, see how much they've risen. All right, let's take a look and see what we have. Oh yeah, that was not so great, but I don't think so. When you fold them over, you sort of have a seam at the bottom, and it looks like I did that seam up, and these would be seamed down. So that's probably why. So let's get these into the oven. I've got it prepped and warm, and it is ready to go. So off to the solar oven. All right, here we are at the solar oven. I had it warming up, and this is a Solovar Sport. I'm not sure if they still sell them or not, but it's worked out pretty good for me. Maybe I'll do a review on it sometime, show you a little bit more of the details behind it. But it's ready to go. I got my 3 loaves in here. I actually, on the middle one, I covered it in a light coating of oil just to see the difference between the two, what would happen between the very similar loaves there. So we'll see how it goes. This one, it looks like it didn't rise because I think I explained before, I put it seam up, and they say you're supposed to put it seam down. So at any rate, get the lid on here. Let this get warmed back. All right, it looks like we're done. I'm gonna take this off here so y'all can get a better view. So yeah, I tested a little bit, and I think it's good to go. So yeah, 3 loaves of bread cooked with the sun. My little experiment had oil on this one, coated the top of this with oil, and I don't know if it didn't rise as much. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but it doesn't look like it got as dark as the one that didn't have oil on it. And then my little upside down loaf there. Oops. So yeah, there we go. I'll go put those on the cooling rack and slice up a piece of bread here after a while. All right, everybody, welcome back. So here's the finished product, or one of the loaves. It had some air pockets in it right here where I cut through, but it's really good. Tastes great. It's awesome. It tastes great with some butter on it and whatnot. I think I might cook up some hamburgers tonight and cut this up as the buns. I don't know. I have to think about that. Anyway, turned out pretty good, and love using that solar oven. It's a lot of fun. Take care, y'all.